What's up, family? You're tuned in to Real As Real Radio 104.1, your nightcap of comedy. My name is Ken Miller in the big to tonight. It is Tuesday night, May the 7th. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. We're going to have all brand new shows for you weirdos out there. I know you guys are normally used to hearing James John running the show, but James is off because it is his birthday and he's probably out doing disgusting stuff with his wife as usual. But we're gonna have a good time, man. Join the virtual studio with my comedy brother. Started off with one of the dudes who helped start this thing and get this thing going. 1,000 episodes. Miguel Colon Jr. What's up, brother?
What up, man? I feel like if we had like a technical issue, we needed to call James right now. He'd be like, "No, of course I can talk, baby, put the harness down. The guys need me, you know." And then we just hear voices in the background. He's like, "I'm performing in front of a live studio audience." Yeah,
Oh, that's
one thing. I'm gonna say this, man. That is one thing. We're gonna give James his flowers for his birthdays on this one. In my comedy career, I have never had a moment where I couldn't call James and get an honest answer from him. And I mean an honest answer. Like I had a time when I called James, I said, "Hey James, they're offering me this headline spot." He said, How long?" And this is when I was his feature, and I was like, "It's gonna be 45 minutes." And he was like, "Yeah, you're fine." He's like, "You could do 45, you could do an hour." He goes, "Let me ask you this." He goes, "I haven't seen you do that." And he said, "You talking on the car." He says, "Are you confident?" And I was like, "Well, if you telling me I can," he's like, "No. Are you confident?" He's like, "Because you can have all the time in the world. If you're not confident up there, it don't matter that you got an hour. It don't matter you got a 45." And a lot of people, man, like a lot of people will give you a quick answer. They won't spend the time with you to make sure. And there was a time, I'll tell you this, there was a time I was in a little slump, man. I think it was 2018 or 2019. This is 2018. I was in a slump, little girl slump. That's the worst thing with me too, guys. The worst thing that can happen to me is when I get sad. And it doesn't happen much. But when I start feeling sad for myself, it's garbage. And I need people to remind me, get off. Because it doesn't happen much, but I was in a sad slump. Stuff with the girls were working out. Stuff with the career was holding still. I was at that point where I was headlining, but everybody was still just asking me to feature. And it was one of those points where I was like, man. And I went on James's show to kick it with him. And this is when he was at the old studio. And we just talked at lunch. And James just told me the truth about his comedy career. And he was like, hey, man, he's talking about how many times him and Michelle had to have talks about, should we keep doing this? Should I stop? And it's important. If your friends are also your mentors, it's important that you remember that, because a lot of people, once they get to the point where they're peers with somebody, they forget that this person also has years of experience and they can mentor them. Because a lot of people are waiting to just be your peer. They're excited to just be your peer. Oh, now we're peers. Now I can sit at the big table and chop it up with Ken and talk trash about everybody and joke about, blah. But they forget, yeah, man, but these dudes still have a wealth of information, man. So for James Young, for your birthday, I don't know, he is 58, 92, old ass man with 75 kids and probably wearing the bra and panties and doing his closing joke for Michelle in the bedroom right now. But I just want to give my man my flowers, because throughout his career, or throughout my career, he has been not only a friend of mine now and a peer of mine now, but has continued to be a comedy mentor for me.
True that. True that. Also in the studio with us from the law offices of Kaufman and Lynn, Mr. Jeff Kaufman. Jeffrey, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good, man. What I love best about James is traveling in the car with James. That is the best time I have with him, where him and I are just sitting there talking nonsense for hours. And normally it's about food, which is I wish just what do you think over here? And we'll have a discussion about Popeyes for 35 minutes.
Has to be talked about.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I love this guy, and you know what? He has never said a mean thing. I have never, to me or around me. He just, and I think he said he had to go to therapy to be able to do that. But I need to see that therapist, because that is amazing.
Guys, I bet James goes to a pool hall we don't know about and trash talks all of us while playing 9-ball. He's like, hey, Miguel, old fat ass, needs to chill out, talking so damn much, cracking balls. And Michelle's like, baby, where you at? Hey, baby, I'm at the Whole Foods. I'll be back in a little bit. They don't know him as James there. They know him as Lucky. Hey, Lucky, what's up, baby?
Lucky Charms, yeah.
I used to call James when I worked at Sprint. and I would talk to James for an hour and 30 minutes. We both were at work. He worked in the banker's office, and I would just disappear from my job for an hour and 30 minutes, and me and James would really just talk comedy and shop and this and dude, yeah, he's always been somebody to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
How you doing? You good? You know what I mean? Yeah. So to hear that when he's talking about going to therapy to get over like anger and this, I'm like, you? Like of all people, you? I would have never thunk it.
He's like Batman. He goes to bed, he goes out and fights crime, and then that's how he gets
I
out.
bet you James would just every now and then get overwhelmed and be like, hey, baby, you mind? I'm going to go for a ride real quick and get a payday. And Michelle's like, sure, love. And he'd get in the car and just kill a drifter. You know? Just drive around, see somebody. Hey, buddy, you're not going to be walking out in the rain like that. Oh, come on, pal, get in. Hey, 82nd Airborne, huh? That's nice. A friend of mine served in there. Yeah. Hey, do me a favor real quick. Can you reach in the back and get the hey, baby, I got you a payday too. You know?
James, let me find out James is the drifter killer, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Because you know, as a serial killer, you got to have a cool name.
Payday killer. The
payday killer. Yeah.
Guy's got a candy bar stuck in his mouth when he wakes up.
Yeah.
You got to have a cool name to be a serial killer. You can't just, you got to have like a name. And who's the namer? Who's the guy coming up like,
the press do it. They see something and they make it up.
Yeah, they're like, the payday killer again strikes again. They're like, one payday. There's 9 bodies. One payday was found. Yeah, it didn't work.
Yo, do you think the serial killer's like, hey, dog, come on. I've done more than that. Can I get a better name?
You know that they're writing letters and they'll be like, so I put a dandelion in each of their pockets, but you want to focus on the fact that I had semen on their face. You know, I am not the squirt murderer. I'm the dandelion strangler. Come on.
I don't think there's ever been a bad name for a serial killer. I mean, think of the Zodiac killer.
Zodiac killers has to sound the coolest though.
Yeah,
Zodiac killer. Like it just sounds like if you were pitching, if all of these were vehicles, like
DC Sniper. I mean,
DC Sniper it sounds black too. Hey, what's up, man? DC Sniper, what up, though? You know,
it sounds like
they were surprised that the guy was black.
Yeah, everybody was, dude, because it sounds like a basketball team.
Yeah,
with the DC Snipers.
Yeah, they changed the Washington Bullets to the DC Snipers. Remember when they had to change the Bullets name because of all the murders in Washington?
Could you imagine you're a hardcore Bullets fan and they go, what are we changing the name to? Wizards.
Yeah. I'm the DC Sniper.
What is so magical about DC other than that you property values go up and you lose and you get mugged 24/7?
Ken, that was their WNBA team, the DC Snipers. Nothing but 3-pointers, no dunks.
Dog, I think the one that killed me was what's the dude in Washington, the BTK?
BTK, yeah.
Because that's an R&B group.
Yeah, I was like bump, bump, you know?
BTK killer.
Yeah, the BTK killer. It sounds like something you order too. Hey, man, let me get a BTK, salt and pepper. You know?
You wonder if he does the spin before he takes care of business.
So what's Kenny Miller's killing name?
Man, I do. Because I gotta have a calling card, yo.
Ooh, the IT something. The
IT. Like as soon as I kill you, like I erase, like I put a virus on your computer. I erase everything off your computer.
Yeah,
I'm corny like that, bro.
He kills you, but your download speed's incredible. Like, yo, man.
Yo, what's the Miguel killer?
The insulin deficient strangler. They can't. After I strangle you, I pass out next to you until somebody gives me some orange juice.
Hey, but that's the thing. Every time they catch you, they give you orange juice. You wake up.
Yeah,
they never arrest you.
They never. They're just always like, "What happened?" I'm like, "I stumbled across this." They're like, oh, "Good thing they didn't get you." You know.
And it's like on the 12th murder, some young detective is like, you ever notice this Miguel guy is always next? He's just a great citizen.
Yeah, one of the cops is like, you're right. He might have some information that we don't know about. Kaufman's the figurine fire starter. You know?
Every time he always somebody leaves a Funko Pop on him.
Yeah. The Funko Pop murderer.
With the eyes X'd out. Yeah.
No, the Funko Pop murderers.
Funko Pop murderer sounds like a funk band.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome Detroit. Just the Funko Pop murderers. Bum, 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 bum. And I also think too, though, like I think like it must be hard when you're a new serial killer because you're like, all right, man, I'm
What's
3
my
deep
thing,
with
man?
the
What's my thing?
what's
What's
my
my
thing?
thing?
I'm 3 murders
I'm
deep.
the
and I
ball
haven't
gag
finished
killer.
the
No, I
thing.
ain't doing that one.
Yeah. I wonder there should be like a support group where they're just like, hey man, what's up, man? BTK here. And you get cameos from them. And they're like, hey bro, just remember when I started out, man, I didn't know what I was doing. Jeffrey Dahmer, he didn't even eat the people at first, man. He just played with the dead body. So when you're out there, that's how James Young would be if he was a serial killer. You'd call him up, be like, guys, when I started, I didn't even know I was gonna stick a payday in their orifice. But I just grinded.
I was inspired by Ken when he says, "What's this butt for?" And then
Yeah. I got to go
Yo.
pick the kids up, and I got to get one more in before the day's done. Hey, buddy, you need a ride? Hey, pal, get in here. Get in here, pally.
I haven't changed my car to a Prius, so it'd be easier for
Like a
people to
fit,
get
right?
in.
Hey, is that an 11 Signal Brigade?
Yeah. Hey, imagine too, if anything were to ever happen to James Young on his way to a show where he's wearing the panties and stuff like that. That's going to be a big part of the investigation until they find out it's a comedy routine.
Yo.
They're going to be like, if James was just found dead somewhere, they're like, he was found dead in women's panties. They're like, oh, okay.
And a sports bra. Yeah.
Yeah, and the detective had never seen him.
Perform, yeah.
Cross-dressing comedian James John dies.
Oh, yeah. Cross-dressing comedian is going to be the main thing. Cross-dressing comedian James Young dies. But a payday
Cross-dresser
stuck
killer.
inside him.
See,
Yeah.
cross-dresser killer.
What a
Yeah.
payday.
Stuck inside of him like a golf flag just
And a
sticking out of him.
taco under his chin.
Yeah.
Yo,
Miguel Colon was seen next to him. We revived him with orange juice. I don't know what happened.
I know, guys. I know it's kind of dark, and we're talking about serial killers. I'm sorry, y'all, but it's funny when you say when the killer first started.
Yeah.
Are they like open micers?
Yeah. So he's like, imagine how many times one of them talked to a hitchhiker, and the hitchhiker's like, well, can I get a ride? They're like, I can't do this. Just drove past. There's some hitchhikers like 3 times this truck driver pulls up and he's taunting me now. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this.
Oh my goodness, man. So shout out to James for his birthday, man. We
Yeah,
miss you,
man.
bro.
I hope he gets some good kills in.
Hey, baby, I got to go get some ice.
Hey, baby, I got to go get a payday. All right, don't kill nobody. She knows. And then, one time James will just come home after a murder came bad. He's covered in blood. He's trying to wash his clothes. And Michelle just walks in and looks at him. And she's like, you let him get away. Listen, you go out there and you find him. Take one of the boys with you. Take Devin.
Hey, but then at the end, when the detective busts in and everything's all said and done, Michelle is the killer.
Yeah. Yeah. James goes down, gets locked up, and then they realize he brings him home to her.
Could you imagine him calling Chris and go, Chris, I need some help. Chris goes, I ain't doing anything.
Yeah.
Chris, he goes, as long as you pick up McDonald's, I'm good.
That's funny.
Chris would be the worst henchman. He'd be all depressed.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'd be there and be like, hey man, why does payday taste like butt? What'd you do with it? Oh man.
Oh my
Still
God.
finishing it.
Oh, man. And with that being said, we got to take a commercial break, man. We'll be right back. Real Labs Real Radio 104.1.
Payday got corn on it.
We're back. Real Labs Real Radio 104.1, your nightcap of comedy. I'm Ken Miller in the big chair tonight, man, because James is out celebrating his 92nd birthday. So happy birthday to our brother, James John. Guys, do us a favor. Go out there and follow us on all of our social medias. We truly appreciate that. Also, if you want to see these beautiful faces, go out to YouTube, search Real Labs. All of our shows are up. And if you missed us, man, you can check us out in podcast format. 1,000 episodes over the last 7 to 8 years of Real Labs. Go to iHeart, search Real Labs, and you can listen to all our shows in podcast format. We appreciate everybody for listening, tuning in. Shout out to James, who came to the comedy show with his wife, Adventure X, this weekend, listens to the show. I promised him we would give him a shout out. So shout to brother James. I'm sorry I didn't get your wife's name, man. But we had a really good time. Shout out to Jari and to the Don't Tell Comedy crew out there, man. I missed our meeting Friday because I'm old and I shouldn't be doing certain things anymore. So, Jeff, I decided I was going to do my whole backyard. That's raking, cutting.
No, you old,
bro,
man. You can't do that.
I'm talking about, it took me 6.5 hours to do this. I'm talking about 20 bags of. I got to the point where I was so tired of bagging leaves, I just started dumping them over the fence because there's woods. It's wood.
And all the neighbors are laughing. How you feel, old man?
Bro,
you make us do it.
I was so Jeff. I was hurting so bad. I got done. I took my shower. My wife made dinner. It's now 11 o'clock at night. I had an asthma attack, muscle spasms. So I took the muscle relaxers. I took Benadryl, and I hit the asthma pump. When I woke up, it was 2:30 p.m. It was I called James. I said, "Dog, did I miss the meeting?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "Bro, I just woke up at 2:30 p.m."
You know, he called James because if he would have called us, we would have either Miguel or I would have lit him up.
I actually
the nice guy.
Jeff, you would have picked the phone up.
Well, you know, come on, you.
I walked in. Let me tell you this. I walked in. I sat down, and Bridget goes, "Who's coming for the meeting?" I go, "I know me and James will be here." Like that's before anything. I was just like, "I know me and James will be here." I don't
You
know
heard what I
else will
said.
be here.
I said, Ken go come in late.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ken was.
He'll
asleep.
come in for lunch. He'll be in for lunch.
Ken was asleep, bro. I was out, and I was even after I woke up. I still was feeling it. I had took another muscle relaxer. I was like, bro, I used to like working in my yard, and now I'm like, might need to hire somebody.
Your yard turns you into a pill junkie. Now you're like, "Hey, baby, I'm gonna work on this yard. I just need to crush these up and boof them real quick." You know?
Boof him?
Boof them. That's what the butt do.
For the white audience, what does boofing mean?
Boofing is when you take a narcotic, crush it up, and put it inside the bottom hole so that it absorbs quicker.
Hey.
See, I would never have guessed that what boofing meant. Okay.
Man,
Hey.
the more you know. Ba-da-da-da.
It's aliens listening to us right now. Like, yo, we should start doing that.
That's what they use it for.
That's what that
Get
butt's
that
for.
payday out of there. Stop being silly.
But yeah, man. But Miguel, you don't do your own yard, right?
I have hardly any yard, man. Like I live downtown. I have a little courtyard that's like a brick courtyard and lots of trees and stuff. So I got it part of my because I rent. Part of my service is they trim all the little trees around my area. But I hate doing yard work. Like I pay someone to do my mother's yard work because my mom lives downtown, and you know I could go over there and I could cut that grass and take care of it. She's got a big yard too. But no, I'd rather just pay. I told her I was like, I will be responsible for your yard. I will pay for it, but I'm not doing it because I don't like doing yard work. It's something I don't enjoy doing yard work. You know, it's not. Some people love it. Like my dad, he kind of gets into it. I know people. My buddy Godfrey. He'll enjoy it. That'll be like his workout for the day. But to me, I'm just like yard work.
Hold on. I live in
worst.
Florida. It's hot here.
Yeah.
Who chooses that? Hey, let me go out. It's 97 degrees. I'm gonna spend 3 hours in the backyard. I don't want to spend 3 minutes walking to my car.
Ken, technically, there was a whole war fought so you guys wouldn't have to do yard work. You know,
dude, it was my at first it was my solace. You know what I mean? Like, I put my music on. I'm outside. I get to cut the grass, and I'm having a good time. It's I got my thoughts together, and when I'm done, I pull my chair up, get me a little thing of Crown, my cigar, and I got the sprinklers on, and I'm just like, I did that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I did that. Now I'm like, man, I'm going to bed.
Yeah,
I don't even want to look. I'm like, I'm going to lay down. Like I have to lay down now after I'm done with the yard. Like at first, a couple years ago, I'm like, man, let me enjoy this. It's usually nice at night around this time. It's a nice little breeze. I'm like, okay, now I'm like, man.
Ken became HOA president just so he couldn't find himself anymore.
Bro. Oh my goodness, dude. So now I'm like, man, maybe I should start hiring somebody again. Because I had a dude at first, and I'm like, man, I could do this myself. Why am I paying this dude when I could do all of this myself? And now I'm at that point where I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this again.
Yeah.
Ken reminds me of Bubba's mother. Now he gets to watch the white people do it.
Yeah, right.
You know?
I want a white garden.
Stupid or is you dumb?
Forrest Gump. Hey.
Oh my goodness. But
you know how crazy that must have been though for her to have a white cook? She's like, no goddamn seasoning again.
Dude.
Again.
Have you seen the TikTok video? I posted it of the dude at the sit-in where he said, man, we went through all of that food getting thrown on us. They finally let us eat. and it was the worst food I've ever had in my life.
What are you talking about? The counter service, yeah.
I went through all of that for this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Because you imagine that they sat at that Woolworths and like, finally, we can have some Woolworths. What is y'all ain't got no paprika?
No, they were like, let me get the mashed potatoes and gravy. They're like, the mashed potatoes terrible, but this gravy good. He must have supped with Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, Colonel Sanders affair.
Colonel Sanders. This is great. You brought up something, man, and I was literally just talking to my wife about this like 10 minutes ago. You were talking about your mom, working at your mom and working in her yard.
Yeah.
Well, I lost my train of thought. Do you have a plan, and God forbid, for your parents' house if they were to succumb?
Oh man, me and my father have talked about this. Like my mother's actually, the plan for it is for my mother's home to go to my youngest sister Patricia. We're all cool with that. Because Trish works downtown, everything. One thing I gotta say is I have two siblings. I have an older sister Melinda, and I have a younger sister Trish. And we talk about everything honest and open. I see Jeff making that face because Jeff comes from an evil white family and he thinks it's gonna be one way.
No, because I've seen your I've seen every family just like you. We all agree he's dead. I want the house.
Yeah.
Jeff, come out of the woodwork. I want that.
Jeff, I know that you're tainted and you hate women, but my sisters. But my
At least we're being honest about it. Okay.
Yeah. So no,
right.
But
I'll own it. I won't argue. I ain't apologizing. You ain't canceling me. I'm not apologizing for it.
Anytime we talk about women with Jeff, it's come on.
No, it's death.
Casey Anthony.
Is it in the will? Is the will covering all this stuff? Yeah.
Yes.
Does it say? Does you have the clause in there? Anybody who disputes the will loses?
I don't know, Jeff. I don't.
Yeah. Well, that's because you did it. You did it through Zoom.
No, we did it. I just didn't make the damn will, Jeff. Your kids know your will?
Yes.
Your kids know your will? They know the clauses? You're a liar now. Your kids do not know
my daughter knows exactly what she's looking at.
She knows. If I told your daughter right now, it's in section C-5. Jeff.
Oh, you think there's a C-5? It's just one thing. You ain't get this one, and if you screw up, you don't get nothing.
Yeah, that's the reason I asked because we were talking about it, me and my wife, and I was like, if I was to go, I don't, my kids don't care about this house.
Oh, they will.
They didn't grow up in it. Jeff, I'm telling you, they can care less.
No, they want the money. They want the money.
You don't know my children, bro. They can care less.
Jeff, gonna tell you one thing. Listen, man. Listen.
They can care less, bro.
Do you have your joke book in your will? Because that fire.
They could care less, and that's why I was asking because you were talking about your mom's house and like, do you have some? I can understand Jeff having some. He's a lawyer. I would expect Jeff to have his eggs in the basket in the barrel. I expect
it's $29. It's free on my website, dude.
Yeah, but most people don't go through that. Most people don't do that, Jeff. Most people don't care like that because they don't expect.
Wait, how could hold up, Jeff? How could you have just made fun of like a legal website making a will, and now you promoting your website makes a will? You were just like,
yeah. I don't jack you for $29 to do it. The fact is that I'm telling you, I get calls every day from broke ass families complaining about broke ass stuff that they didn't get when somebody died. And you think, oh, my daughter doesn't care. My thing doesn't care. The minute people die, they literally go into the house and start rams.
Jeff, I gotta say, you really have grown up around horrible people.
All the people, the world around me.
Yeah, you really have.
It ain't my family.
You gotta get some homeboys, man.
Yeah. You need to hang out with the real ass crew.
Yeah, we got to get you out more.
Yeah.
He's like, oh,
that's the problem.
Melissa's gonna eat my body when I die.
Yeah. I guarantee what's gonna happen is, what's the first thing if James died, Michelle goes, Jeff, you're not gonna believe what's going on. Everyone's fighting. I'd be going, all these nice people fighting.
You think the Yawn boys are gonna be fighting over what happened in James's house and Michelle?
You think they're gonna be fighting Michelle?
Yeah, you think they're gonna beef with Michelle? They're gonna fall in line. If James wasn't dead and Michelle said, "Put Daddy out," Devin's gonna be like, "I love you, Papa," with a pillow. Yeah,
and just throw a payday on him and walk out.
Yeah.
Damn, Miguel.
Yeah.
Miguel did it.
So back to the question.
They found a Choco Taco. They would know it was me.
So what about your pops? So your mom's house is going to your baby sister. And
Yeah.
what about your
I
pop?
don't know what my father has in my will, but my father, my father's big on having a will since the Marine Corps. You know
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So I don't know how it goes with that. I don't want the responsibility of owning either of their homes. Like if that was how it was, I don't want that. And I know that we're going to need some money to take care of them, but I do also know that I've got a little stacked up, which isn't a lot, but I got my money stacked up. I know my father has life insurance and he has retirement stuff. I don't know the process to how it's going to be to bury one of them. I've helped my friends bury their relatives, and I've learned how overwhelming it could be.
And expensive.
And expensive. Yeah. The old man's goal, he has two goals. Either he wants to be buried, I think he wants to be buried in the Marine Corps cemetery in Camp Lejeune, or, swear to God, guys, he wants me to have him cremated and fired out of a howitzer. What he's told me. And he's told me, he's like, don't.
He's going, I swear to God, if it's below you in the desk when you're doing those damn shows, I'll kill you.
Yeah. He's told me, man. He's like, don't just write that.
How do you let that one go, Ken?
Oh,
I gave you the opportunity
Ruthie
to bring
Mae.
Mama out.
Ruthie Mae. What's that, Ruthie Mae? You right. Jeff do
Hey.
need Jesus.
Hey, my mama said cremate me and put me in a 38 special and shoot me out of that.
Shoot me out.
Pops said a howitzer. A howitzer, bro.
That's what he wants. He's an artillery marine. He wants me to, and he's like, don't make it a foreign military. I'm like, I know he'd be mad if I was like talking to his ghost and I was like, Pops, guess what? And he's like blue and glowing like some Star Wars ghost. And I was like, Pops, I got it all set up. I got an artillery unit. They're gonna fire you out into the desert in a howitzer. He's like, you did good, boy. He's like, what unit? And I was like, all right, it's an army. You dead to me, son. You dead to me, son.
The Navy, I'll kill you.
Yeah, be like, I got a naval gun. I'm gay now. I'm gay now.
How do you even set that up?
Hey, I don't know. Busey's already been
you
like,
can set it up.
Hey, Busey's already been like, we get that done. We can get that done.
That is 100% Marine thinking, bro.
Fired out of
Never in my life I would have thought to cremate me and shoot me out of a house.
Ken, honest to God, if my father was laying on his deathbed, all he would want to have is his children and his family by him. That's my old man. And if I held his hand on his deathbed and said, old man, I got a Marine artillery battery to agree to fire you out of a howitzer in 29 Palms, one tear would drop down and he'd be like, I'm ready to go. He would just go.
And then
you'd watch his soul. Yeah. And then Jeff would show up and be like,
you get the house.
Jeff would show up and be like, that tear equals he consented to giving you the home. Like, yes, I never cared about my sisters. I had to lie on real laughs because I knew this would be played in court. Jeff, you blowing up my spot by asking me those questions. I got to pretend like I care.
Hey, and then Jeff and they did theirs on Zoom, so it doesn't even count.
First of all, they did theirs on Zoom, and their lawyer was a woman.
We gotta go to commercial break, man. When we come back, we're gonna keep this conversation going because Jeff, I want to ask you the same question to you when we get back. We'll be right back. Real Labs, Real Radio 104.1. Real Labs, Real Radio 104.1, your nightcap of comedy. My name is Ken Miller in the big chair tonight. Guys, go out and follow us on all the social media platforms. All you gotta do is search Real Labs. If you want to see these beautiful faces, go out to YouTube, man. You can sit in your office and watch the shows on your phone. And if you missed us, you can check us out in podcast format. 1,000 episodes. That is 1K, man. So go check us out. Go to iHeart, search Real Labs, and you can check out all this hilarity right on your phone, desktop, computer, or whatever. So we were talking about if you were to pass away, what's going on with your kids? Miguel was telling us his mom house is going to his baby sister, and his dad wants to be shot out of a howitzer. I was just letting y'all know, if I die, my kids don't care. They might just let this house they might burn the house down, if all I know.
I can see Junior wearing your Class A top because it's cool looking.
Wearing it in a rap video.
Yeah, rap video.
Yeah.
Junior's in your bed having sex, throwing flour everywhere.
Oh my goodness. But Kaufman, who you guys know from the law office of Kaufman and Lynn, he said you can actually go to his website and there are legal documents out there you can fill out for passing it down. So Jeff,
free
you have
free
will. So Jeff, and you have 2 kids, correct?
Yeah.
And so what is your plan?
Well, I will see. I'm different than a lot of other people. I got my son Jakey's going to need money for the rest of my life, so he's first in line. So the money's going to be put away. There's going to be somebody set up to take care of him. That's the whole point
Like a
of that.
trust? Is that what that's going to be?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, there's going to be a trust. Everything I have, or the majority of it's going to go into a trust to make sure he's taken care of. So his sister is not going to he's not going to be a burden on his sister.
Right.
And that's hard, because when you have a special needs kid, that kid gets passed around after people die. People, I can't do it anymore, and they give it to another kid. And then the sad thing is sometimes they get put in a facility, and that's something that no parent ever even imagined that would be that option.
Yeah.
So but I'm telling you, with people, and I'm laughing because everyone thinks that everyone's so nice when you die. No. People come out of the woodwork. People, kids that you haven't spoken to for 20 years. I mean, I get called all the time, and I don't do this work. And I'm saying, listen, it's going to be a lot of money, and there's not a lot of stuff. And everyone wants, I wanted his jacket. I want shoes. They go into a house for a belt. And, but his new wife, they've been married for 40 years. His new wife.
Yeah.
His
new wife, 40 years.
Which is funny because when my dad passed, my aunt was like, all right, Kente, you go in there, whatever you want. You take whatever you want. And, my dad was living in a room with my aunt. And he had like a medical bed, which is worth hundreds of dollars. I said, Auntie, you sell that because, you've been taking care of my father. I wasn't here. You've been taking care of my father. So you can sell that. And some other stuff. I took, all his Vietnam jackets, his hats. He gave me a watch that he had for like his whole life. I took his Bible. I've been trying to find his medals. I can't find any of his medals, but I took the military stuff. The stuff that me and my father bonded over.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Do you want his clothes?" I'm like, "I'm not Shaft."
Yeah.
Because one of my aunts, her husband, he was like, Kente, can I have I said, you can take whatever you want. What am I going to do with it? I said, I don't wear this. Like, I don't want the socks with the ring, colored ring. You can take all the clothes, bro. My aunt,
you need them now. The arthritis socks? You need
right,
those now.
right.
Yeah. The compression ones? Oh.
And it's funny,
you need that now with the backyard work. I need, where's my dad's socks?
Hey, Jeff, what's funny is it didn't compute till you just said that about the belt. Because once you said it, the memory popped up, and I was like, "Yeah, this dude really wanted my father's clothes." I was like, "You can have it," because my aunt said, "Kente, take your dad's clothes." What I'm doing with this?
Yeah,
I don't dress like Superfly. What
do you know?
Mushroom belt, bam.
Yeah.
When my grandfather died, I did take one of his shirts because it smelled like cigar and his cologne, and I did. I was a kid, and I was like, "Can I have this?" And they were like, "Yeah." And it was just because I was like, "This for right now, it still smells like my grandfather."
Granddad, yeah.
Yeah, and now I got it. It's a Florida Marlins shirt, and I'm like, "This is a whack ass shirt."
My dad actually asked me. He said, like 7 years before he died, "Is there something of mine you want so I can make sure you get it?" And I said, "I want this necklace that you wore as a kid," and I remember it. And he actually gave it to me like 2 months later.
Yeah,
and I've worn that necklace, my whole life. And, that's all I needed. So when he died, everyone went in there and took everything, and they go, "What do you want?" I said, "I'm good."
Yeah.
I don't really need too much.
I wish I had kids, because if I died, I'd like to make maps and stuff that look like real stuff. And then my kid's like, "He was looking for the Holy Grail."
Let me find out my dad was
National
Indiana
treasure.
Jones.
Yeah, he been working on this for you. That's why he never made it to any of our
at the end, they find this Bojangles chicken sandwich.
He said underneath 7 Bojangles
and
was
it's
a tunnel.
Bojangles chicken sandwich, and it's still good. 7 years later, it's
spicy chicken sandwich. It's still good.
Where we were also talking about Pops, who I love to death, want to be shot out of a howitzer. But when we went to commercial break, Jeff was telling us about a friend of his who tell us a story about how your friend wanted you to bury him.
One of my oldest friends, Gordon McKenzie, he calls, he's like, "Listen, when I die, I know my kids are going to do something, my wife's going to want to do something, but you need to steal my body and take me out to sea and feed me to the fish." And I'm like, "Oh," and see, when people say I'm your ride or die or anything else like that, that's the true definition. Will you steal that person's body and dump him at sea? That's when you know That's a ride or die.
What do you think the legal ramifications of let's
Oh,
get
you
rid
go
of
on
the stealing.
if you get caught, you go into jail.
Let's get rid of the stealing the body. If you dump a body in the sea, like out in the middle of the sea and stuff like that, is that based on? I know you're not a maritime lawyer.
It's about no.
but is it-
Once you go into international waters, then you deal with international law. But
because
yeah,
like
you can,
if
you-
somebody
it's-
dies on a boat and you can't bring them, I'm just asking this question, thinking like somebody sailing or something like that. Are you supposed to try to keep the body until you can reach a port or something like that? I mean, I know you don't know for sure.
There's no rule. There's no hard and fast rule on it. But they might say, "Did you kill him?"
Yeah, be like,
Yeah.
did you find a Snickers? Did you find a
depending on the
Band-Aid in his
state
butt?
or what country you're in, you got the disposal body laws.
Yeah.
But that's a misdemeanor a lot of times. But I don't know in Florida disposal body.
Are we
Once
gonna
I
take
go,
your
once I go past 5 years?
Yeah.
Once I go past 5 miles, good luck with that.
Are we
That
gonna
crime was
go-
committed there.
Are we gonna go deep sea fishing with your buddy and just join him and just be like, give me one of them hands. I want to get a grouper.
Yeah,
Rig me up for a grouper.
Hey,
yeah, that's
Jeff,
Dexter, man.
Yeah.
Jeff, why that sea? Why the sea? Does he love the ocean? Is it something to this? I'm
Big
just
fan
like,
of the Little Mermaid, the black
Yeah.
one too.
yeah.
I like the black Little Mermaid.
She's
Jeff.
combing her hair with my skull or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
curious. That's like
Jeff's
a weird
hand or something
request,
combing her
bro.
hair.
That's a weird request.
Listen, everyone has. I believe it or not, I used to have a belief that I wanted to be dumped at Disney. I wanted my ashes spread over Disney, and then I realized everyone does that. They actually have a code for it at Disney about people. It gets done so much that they see you coming in with that stuff or a bag. They automatically know what it's going to be. They have to clean these things out. I mean, I don't even know why, because ashes are just ashes. I mean, there's no
Yeah.
biological in there. I mean, that can get.
Ken, I'm
But,
gonna dump you out at Corona.
No, I got a bad one for you guys. I got a real bad one for you guys, and I think you're gonna like this. When I was working entertainment at Disney, I was friends with a couple characters there. A dude died while we were taking a picture at the the place where they have the barbecue at Epcot in the ride where I've read the nature or something. It's a buffet and it's like $80 and they bring the food to your table. Well, we were taking pictures with this family and we didn't know that the dude died at the table. And the guy taking the photographer was trying to wave us off, but we don't know what the hell's going on.
Everybody's
And
waving back.
like 3 weeks later, they tried to dump his ashes there. And I don't know if they got to it, but I think they got partial in there.
Nobody dumps anybody's ashes at Busch Gardens.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, have at it. Throw it at the tiger's
Yeah.
face. I don't care.
Hey,
Man, somebody's been dumped at Busch Gardens. Somebody's,
Lee,
somebody's-
dump-
Yeah,
me
somebody
at
got dumped at Busch
Fun Spot.
Gardens because they were getting rid of the body. They were like, hey, chop him up, and throw him to this llama. Imagine that too. Imagine you not realizing an animal doesn't eat meat. You're like, hey, we're gonna chop him up and throw him in the rhino exhibit. You throw it all in there, and you're like, he ain't touching it. Hey, I just Googled rhinos eat plants. Like, ah!
and you can't go in and get it because the rhino will kill you.
yeah, yeah,
Hey, yo, hey, what's that serial killer? The zookeeper killer?
yeah, man. The Zodiac.
The Zodiac?
Yeah,
The Zodiac killer, yo.
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Yeah, I just want a regular old burial, man. I talked to my wife about this, and my family wants me home,
In North
but this
Carolina?
is my
In
home.
North Carolina?
Yeah, my family wants me buried in North Carolina. And I to my brothers, this is my home. My kids are here. I want to be buried where my kids are at, because y'all not coming to see me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
No.
you're not coming to my grave.
No,
Don't act like
Curly
y'all
he will
really
be
want me
sitting in
home.
your chair the day later.
Yeah, right.
Ross Pageant would be sitting in your chair.
So I was like, this. I'm gonna be buried here. I think it's Leesburg
Okay.
that has the military.
Military, yeah.
I think so.
You're just trying to get that free burial.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this. You know that my dad. Hey, little shout out to old Pops. Pops is specific too. That when he gets an honor guard, he's like, they got to be real military, Mike. He's like, they got to be real military. Because Pops went to the honor guard and he was at the Apopka, seeing the Apopka honor guard, and there were a bunch of dudes. I don't mean real, but a bunch of old retired dudes. 'Cause that's
Boy
what honor guards
Scouts.
are. Yeah, and he was like, Pops was like, he's like, I was getting anxious watching them. He's like, the way they were doing stuff, everything. He's like, this is all wrong. This is all wrong. So I told Pops, I was like, I'll make sure it's a Marine honor guard for you, 100%. What I tell you, this is something true. And Jeff, I don't have a will, so I honestly will talk to you and look at the site because you're right. Because the one thing I don't want anybody doing is wasting money on me. And this is something I feel. And I don't know how this would be worded in a will, but I would like to put it. If my family wants me to be buried somewhere so they can go visit it, then that is fine. But personally, I don't really care to be buried anywhere because I don't believe my body is that it's just a vessel at this point now. It's done. And I don't want people feeling bad or having to keep up with a tombstone and getting mad because, they're selling the plot where I was built. Like I don't want any of that.
Yeah, I don't believe you should hold real estate when you die.
Yeah, me neither.
Why take how and people are going to be pissed at me about this, but
Yeah.
why do you need real estate for the rest of eternity?
Yeah.
I mean, you can hate the planet as much as you want, but why do you need to take up space on the planet? And people wig out about cremation. Cremation ain't cheap either. It's like $2K. But compared to burying you, that's 5, 10, 15,
Yeah.
20,000, then maintenance. I mean, you need a condo for life.
Yeah.
So and your kids, my dad died, God, 10 years ago, and I had to go to the cemetery once, and he got buried in Ohio. I'm not planning an exodus to talk to my dad. I talk to my dad every day.
Right. You feel
I know it's old
spiritually-
school movie stuff
Yeah.
to sit there and go, "Oh, Dad, I'm having a problem. Could we talk?"
But it's reasonable. It's
Yeah.
your father. I feel that, I don't have any answers spiritually, but I feel more connected to the idea that after somebody dies, the body, like you said, and stuff, that's done. And I don't want to take up real estate, like you said. And my real thing is, I don't want people to feel bad. I don't want anybody to go visit there and be like, oh no,
No.
there's weeds
Crying.
growing all over his crown. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want them to know that I'm gone from this earth, but somehow maybe I'm still connected with them because I would hope to believe that. But physically, this sexual Tyrannosaurus's body. Also, if you want to eat me, if that's something you've always wanted to do, this is marbled. This is
Can you
marbled.
imagine Yeah, can you imagine
that's
some
Kobe's,
major
that's Kobe's steak right there, baby.
Some
some
white
college
sauce.
professor digs Miguel up and he goes, "What's the deal with that payday?"
Yeah.
Hey, what's funny with me, man? We got a minute and a half, but real quick, like I said, my family wants me in North Carolina, so I'm like, all right, well, y'all send an arm up there, or something.
Yeah. Quarter you.
Send half of me, half here, half there, bro. I don't know what to tell you, man. But hey, we got to get up out of here. Miguel, where you at this weekend?
Hey, well, first of all, I'm at the only show that matters this week. All for the money this Thursday at the corner. You can go to whenyouneedus.com events. Is that where it is?
Slash events, yes.
/ events, and you can get complimentary tickets. Get them now. It's going to be an amazing show. Our 5th show, graduation themed. It's always an incredible show, and I really appreciate Jeff Kaufman, Bridget, Sam, David, Jonathan, the rest of the crew that helps put this together.
Cool. Coffee, what you got going on this weekend? You got somebody under oath this weekend?
I got well, Thursday I have our show. Friday I'm at the center with James in I believe, what is that? Deltona?
Yeah.
Deltona,
the
yep.
center. And then Saturday we have Under Oath. So it's gonna be, and Mother's Day. I get my boy for Mother's Day. So he'll be with me for 2 days.
Nice. Yeah, I'm the same this Thursday, all for the money, the corner at Bonkers. And then Friday, I am at Comedy Works at Tropical Paradise. That is a room booked by Joe Neal. And then Saturday, Laughing on the Yard in Grant, Florida, that's Duncan J. Guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in, man. It's been brand new shows this week. It's so much fun. Happy birthday again to our dude, James John, who hopefully will be on with us tomorrow night. But we got to get up out of here. That's Jeff Kaufman. I'm Ken Miller, Miguel Colon Jr. Miguel, tell them what to do.
Take your ass to bed before the payday killer gets you.
Good night.